On Thursday, Hanahan High hosted its first ever CTE ice cream social. Students had the chance to get a scoop of ice cream while talking with teachers to get the scoop on their CTE programs. Thank you to everyone who participated. What's up, Hanahan? I'm Sydney Ballard. It's Friday, February 28th, and welcome to this week's edition of Hawk's Eye View. We wanted to celebrate Black History Month in style, so we gave Vance a new job this week to talk to some of your favorite history teachers right here at Hanahan. Let's find out what their top moments or people in African American history are.
Since we're celebrating Black History Month this month, I've decided to go ask the experts at Hanahan High School who they think the most influential African American is in history. Let's go find out.
Yeah, I think one of the most influential African Americans in history is she was a foreign diplomat and former Secretary of State. Her name was Condoleezza Rice. Her story is truly remarkable of how she grew up in one of the most segregated cities in America, Birmingham, during the Civil Rights Movement, and rose to one of the most innermost sanctions in our American government, which is the White House. She was the Secretary of State for President George Bush and the first female to be elected to the National Security Advisor. So I think her story is remarkable. I think if you want to look to the American dream of somebody who came from nothing and came all the way to the White House, Condoleezza Rice is a great example of that.
Jackie Robertson, because he broke the color barrier of the great American pastime of baseball, and by what he was able to accomplish, others were able to follow him.
I think that Nat Turner of Virginia is very important. Nat Turner was a slave and he led a slave revolt. He was also a preacher in a time when people used religion to justify slavery, and it was a really important revolt that he led, although unsuccessful. It kind of showed people that slaves were not happy with their conditions, and it showed you what people are willing to do to fight evil.
I would have to say George Washington Carver. He was at one time a slave. He ended up graduating from Iowa State, being the first African American to do that. Then he went and worked at the Tuskegee Institute and was known as the Peanut Man. Did not come up with peanut butter, but he came up with a lot of different inventions like ink. Teddy Roosevelt and Mahatma Gandhi both used him as advice for agriculture, and he's the first African American with a national monument.
I'd have to say Muhammad Ali, because for a few reasons. He was a social activist, and he was a very famous boxer. He was the first one to win the World Heavyweight Championship on 3 separate occasions. He was actually named after his father, Cassius Marcellus Clay, who was actually named after a white abolitionist. And DC Comics even made a comic about him in 1978 in which he defeated Superman and saved the world.
Well, you heard it here. That's what the experts at Hanahan High School think the most influential African American is. Now back to Sydney in the studio.
Do you love comic books? Well, Macy's going to tell you how you can show that love and even earn a prize for it.
Thanks, Sydney. Next week, the library is hosting William Eisner Week. You may not know who he is, and that's why I'm here. William Eisner was one of the first cartoonists to work in the American comic book industry. In 1978, he popularized the term graphic novel. Eisner passed away in 2005. However, his legacy will live on forever. To show your appreciation for William Eisner and receive a prize from the library, you can do one or all of the following things. You could read a graphic novel from the HHS library. You could wear something to show your love for your favorite comic book / graphic novel hero. You could create your own comic strip at the website provided. And selected classes will watch a documentary about Will Eisner and the rise of comics in America. I hope you learned a little bit more about Will Eisner and that you come to the library next week to show your appreciation for him. Macy Ducker, Hawk's Eye View.
Did you know? Barack Obama made history by becoming America's first African American president. But did you also know Barack Obama has 2 Grammys for his audiobooks, The Audacity of Hope and Dreams from My Father? Yeah, I really should start on my autobiography. The Audacity of Hines. That's today's surprising fact with Stephen.
In the spirit of Black History Month, we tasked Marley with taking a deeper look into one of the most important African American heritage sites in the nation, and it's right here in the Charleston area. Here's Marley with more.
Thanks, Sid. In the spirit of Black History Month, here's something interesting to think about, and it's only a few miles away from you. Fort Moultrie, right on Sullivan's Island, has seen a lot of history over the centuries. In fact, the inspiration for our own state flag comes from the battle at the fort. But the history at Fort Moultrie goes even deeper, and you might have a connection. Before African slaves ended up on plantations throughout our country, they came right here to Sullivan's Island for quarantine before being sold into slavery. In fact, 40% of today's African Americans can trace their roots right through Fort Moultrie on Sullivan's Island. To put that in perspective, 40% of all Americans today can trace their roots through Ellis Island, and while African slaves came to our country under a much different circumstance, it's worth noting that Fort Moultrie is one of the more important places in our country's history. So the next time you take a beach day at Sullivan's Island, just remember you're mere feet from history. Now back to Sydney.
This past weekend, the HHS Theater program participated in the Palmetto Dramatic Association Theater Festival. They received a superior rating on their one-act Hard Candy with excellent acting awards for Ethan Wood, Elsie Carmaine, and Autumn Maxwell, and a superior acting award to Alasia Washington. They also got 14 superior ratings and 17 excellent ratings on individual events. Way to break a leg, thespians. The Beta Club recently did a coat drive to collect for those in need. The coats will be distributed to anyone who has a need to keep warm. You'll remain anonymous too, so if you need a coat, drop by Miss Stoddart's room.
We gathered coats for people in need of them, like winter coats.
So first you have to stop by Miss Stoddart's room and she can get one for you from the conference room.
It's going on during the month of March.
It's first come, first serve, and we have 20 available coats to give out.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, hi there. You just caught me reading some books for my favorite book club, AP Lit. You should join me in this adventure. We have a great time reading, talking, and thinking about literature. Occasionally we have to write, but we are developing skills that will get us college credit here in one semester on Hanahan's campus. It's a great class to take, it's a great opportunity, and I recommend you see Miss Vanador if you have questions.
Since it's the last Friday of the month, today we are celebrating our newest Hanahan tradition, High Five Friday. Every last Friday of the month, make sure you throw those hands up. Now let's see what's going on with sports this week. Here's Jack with your weekly sports update.
What's up, Hanahan? I'm Jack Knight, and welcome back to this week's sports. Last weekend, 4 wrestlers advanced for their chance to win a state title. Coach Atkins believes their chances are high in winning a state title this weekend.
This week we've kind of scaled things back a little bit. We only practice for 90 minutes. We're running, doing sprint work every other day. It's a lot of drilling, a lot of technique involved. The guys are really just trying to sharpen up their skills. I think all 4 of our guys have a great opportunity to become state champions this weekend.
Congratulations to these wrestlers as they head to state this Saturday at the Anderson Civic Center. As spring sports are starting up, girls soccer is just getting into the swing of things. The girls hope for another playoff run this year as their seniors take ownership of the team.
We have 5 seniors this year, which brings a bunch of experience on the field. My hopes for this year, obviously, to win state.
We really just work together as a team, not only the seniors, but we have a lot of underclassmen that have a lot of good talent coming in this season.
As I told you last week, Mr. Hines has a new club for anyone interested in shooting sports. Here he is with some info.
Thanks, Jack. I'm Mr. Hines, if you don't know, and I run the Media Tech program here at Hanahan High School. I spent the last 25 years in the TV industry. Most of that time I spent working for NBC Sports, where I had the chance to travel the world covering everything from tons of Super Bowls to the World Series. I won some Emmys and got the chance to hang out with some cool celebrities too. And now I want to take those experiences and share them with you. I want to teach you how to shoot sports here at Hanahan High School. It doesn't matter if it's football, baseball, soccer, or track, you'll learn all the tips and tricks I know to be able to shoot like a pro. Come by room 111 anytime and we'll have a talk. And our first meeting is next Wednesday, March 4th at 3:45, right after school, right here in Media Tech. I'll see you then.
We hope you can join us, Hanahan. I'm Jack Knight, and I'm sitting in the studio.
What would Black History Month be without a visit from our favorite historian? To fill in for Vance this week, here's my dog, Yosef.
Thanks, Sydney. As you know, it's Black History Month, so they call me your favorite Black historian. Now, let's see what you guys know about Black history. Who is your favorite African American?
Michael Jackson.
Barack Obama's pretty cool.
Barack Obama.
I like them all. I don't got a favorite.
Michael Vick, bruh.
Lamar Jackson.
Michael Vick. Is your name Lamar Jackson?
Bro, I don't look like Lamar Jackson, nor do I look like Lil Nas, bro.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln is white.
What's the baseball player? Baby Ruth? Baby Ruth? Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong is also white. Baby Ruth is white.
He's still a black.
Elon Musk.
Who's that?
He's South African.
He just said Babe Ruth is white. He's being dumb. I know.
Even though he's white, he's from Africa. So that means he's African American.
No.
Harriet Tubman.
No.
Yes.
It don't work like that.
Yes, it does.
Because she came back and rescued over 300 slaves, like a real G.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It's like saying Bob Marley is African American, but it's not. How about Bob Marley?
I love him.
She's not African American. She's from Jamaica, just like Bob Marley.
No, Rosa Parks.
She's from Jamaica. No, she's from Africa.
Who's your favorite African American?
LeBron James.
LeBron James, out of everybody.
Yes.
Is Harriet Tubman Jamaican? No.
Who's your favorite African American in history?
Me.
Myself.
Myself.
I like you better than Vance.
I know that.
I personally like you.
Yusuf.
Yusuf Muhammad.
Hey, you know they also call me Big Sexy? They also call me Big Sexy. They call me Big Sexy.
Okay, that's not a run out. Sexy.
Who is your favorite African American in history?
Who's the guy that made peanut butter?
I don't even know.
Peanut butter guy.
Jackie Robinson.
Money McKee. Why him?
Because peanut butter is good. Duh.
I'd say the baby because he's got some good music.
Peanut butter guy. You sure he's black though?
I'm 90% sure he's black.
90%?
95.
Martin Luther King Jr. Toe Mater.
Martin Luther King.
Who's Toe Mater?
You know from Cars?
Junior.
Yes, bro.
But there's only one Martin Luther King. So you actually do look like Martin Luther King.
Huh?
You look like Martin Luther King, actually.
Oh, you look like Fright Rich Douglas.
Want to relive any of your favorite Hawk's Eye View moments this school year? Remember, if you want to watch any past episodes of Hawk's Eye View, it's very simple. Just go to YouTube and search for Hawk's Eye View HHS. Make sure to check out and subscribe to our channel. And we are live on Twitter now too. Follow us at Hanahan High. You should also join our HEV Google Classroom. There you can leave us questions, comments, and tips. To join, just type in the class code F6QPMAM. That's it for this week's edition of Hawk's Eye View. I'm Sydney Ballard. See you in March, Hanahan.